Are we live? Yes, we are. Welcome to Ross Common, everybody. I'm your host, Jack Mack. I said that like a horse.
Are we live?
Commentator. And we're off. I can hear myself. That's crazy. And we're off. There's a comedian looking at himself. That's one thing about these Zoom gigs. You literally look at yourself and you're like, God, I look tired. God, I look awful. But no, welcome if you're watching the show. This is the show where I bring comedians on and I literally just interrogate them. I'm like, why do you think you're funny? Why do you think we should laugh at you? You know? I'm like the aggressive Graham Norton. Graham Norton was from Mayo. And, well, no, he has a beard. I was going to say more hairy. No, he's hairier than me. Don't ask me how I know that. So what's going on in the world? What is going on? I feel like house hunting in Dublin. You know, it's a problem every Dublin person has ever had, except the Dubs. I find a lot of them live with their parents, and I don't blame them. I find though, like you have to download an app called Daft. That's how crazy it is, and it's just like Tinder, because the same problems show up. Like, have you ever been catfished by a house? It is not fun. You turn up and you're like, hang on, this looks nothing like its photos. Yeah, but it's really great once you get to know it. It's got a great personality. It's the estate agent. Oh, yes. You know? And then, like, you know, you get into this relationship and you have to sign a contract straight away. Okay, I will not leave you for 12 months. And then you see what the real house is really like. You're like, oh, wow, these walls are paper thin. I can hear my housemates having sex. Oh, wow, the blinds, the lights, street lights are blinding me. The blind doesn't work at all. You know? It's not easy. And then like, some rooms want more than one person inside them. They call them sharing. Once spent a night in a bedsit with 7 Brazilians. Oh, my God, they know how to party. They know how to sleep and share. So yeah, it's weird. So, yeah, I live in Dublin as well. I think Dublin as a city has balls, you know, to charge the prices that it does. Dublin is not worth the prices that it charges. Dublin prices thinks it's a 10, but it's really a 5.5, you know? Hang on. Tries to get involved. Those were walking blinds. Ho! Thank you. Trace was actually on the last month. We'll get her back. Right, you're probably sick of me waffling on. Let's meet the other comedians. Let me get them back on. If I can work this. Hey, how we doing, guys?
Hello.
How we doing, boys?
We got Tony. We got Conor. Tony, I feel like, did your light bulb break in between my monologue?
No. My light bulb broke about 3 weeks ago because the fitting burst every bulb I put in there within 12 hours. I've just stopped replacing the damn thing.
Fair.
This is what I'm using for a light bulb. I've got another screen up here.
Fair. I feel like it was brighter when we were.
Yeah, I've also got a window, and the sun is now behind a cloud.
Window will do that. So how we doing, guys? We're nearly like a year and a half into lockdown.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're too fucking long into a lockdown. It's how long we're.
Yeah, I feel like with this show, people are so sick of, like, comedians are sick of performing online. It's hard to get them anymore. You know, everyone's like, hey.
Is that why there's 3 of us?
You're the only lad who said yes. Everybody else said no. Trey says she's got to pee.
Howdy doody. Gotta pee.
Gotta pee.
It's good when the audience keeps us involved.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's the closest we're getting to a bit of back and forth at the moment.
Yeah. Have you ever been on stage and someone just gets up and walks out? You're like, am I that bad?
Yeah. Yeah.
The first Fringe gig I ever did, just after I got onto the stage, the only person in the room who wasn't an actor, one of the acts, got up and just left. And what they didn't realize was that the bathrooms was at the back of the room. So when they went up the stairs out of the gig, I just kind of went, okay. And I was looking at the host and he just went, do you know what? That was the only person. It's 4:00 in the morning. We'll just call it there. So we all just kind of started to pack up because it'd been a bit of a shit gig anyway. And then they came back down the stairs and were like, "Oh, you done? I just needed to pee. You can keep going." And we're kind of going like, well, you know, like we're gonna keep going while you, the only audience member, is at the back of the room trying to hear me over your own pee. Like that's not.
I feel Tony, you're asking the question. It's like that old saying, like, if a tree falls and no one's around, does it make a noise? Like, if there is no audience, is there a show?
Exactly. Yeah, it was one of that. I mean, the rest of that went much better. But that first night, we're just like literally just as I'm getting onto the stage after being announced, I've not even said hello yet. They just get up and walk away. It was just like, fuck.
You can put a mirror. You can talk to yourself.
Yeah, we did that a couple of times as well. Literally, one of the gigs, the headliner didn't show up, so the host went off to go and get him. The people who showed up were friends of the headliner who'd showed up to see him, so they all went upstairs to have a beer. But because there was a live stream, I just had to sit and hold an empty room by myself and pretend there was an audience, because the camera was in the one of the stools in the front row. So you're just trying to pretend there's other people in the room.
So what? Were you like responding? Like, I'm glad you asked that question. Like,
yeah, I was literally saying things like, "Mike, you really got to get that microphone working because I don't think they can hear it in the stream there," and just holding court to an empty room, one half of an imagined conversation.
Okay, that's not bad. Sorry.
Yeah, the bit that turned out to be difficult was remembering not to voice the other side of the conversation.
Yeah, then you go crazy.
And then just like in your head, you're coming up with the response and then going, how long would it take a normal person to say that? Is this an appropriate length of time? It was a nightmare. The Fringe is great. I've
only done spots. I've only turned up before the plague and gone, I'd like to perform, and yeah, I did okay.
Yeah.
Can we go, Conor? The Fringe?
Gone years ago. It was good times though, expensive. But some of the best memories I've ever had is just like going to getting as many open spots as I can, and then forgetting how I got home. Like I think every other comedian's experience.
And seeing the craziest stuff. I feel like for comedians, it's so good. It's like almost like Woodstock. You know, you see the craziest acts, and then you try to bring it back, and then they're like, Dublin comedians like, no, don't do that. It's too crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You've learned all these freaky techniques that they're like, no, we like to don't do that.
What happens at the Fringe stays at the Fringe.
The Fringe is a gauntlet. The Fringe is a lot of fun. Like at the first Fringe that I did, I genuinely only signed up to be in spots. I'd only been doing comedy for about a year at that point, and I wasn't ready for it, and I knew I wasn't ready for it. But I was living in Edinburgh at the time in a hostel, and the hostel was costing me £9 a night. But the 1st of August, that price went up to £227 a night.
Jesus fuck!
Because that's how booked out they were, so they could just afford it. So I signed up to do spots on gigs where basically whoever was hosting it was going, we're going to be running all night, so at 6 o'clock in the morning you can come and crash my couch. I was like, done. Just showing up to random shows.
And like you said, you were doing a gig at 4 a.m.
Yeah, so that gig was a 4-hour long show that ran every 5 hours, and then it was basically 30 minutes either side of it to clear out the previous crowd, get the room cleared up, because we were in the basement of a bar that 11 months out of 12 was the keg room. So
of course it was, yeah.
Yeah, so but in the Fringe, that's a show. So that everything's been moved out of there and shoved into a supply closet. So you're then trying to, there's a sound guy who's trying to make sure you can't hear all the coolers in this cupboard next to his station. Like it was just ridiculous.
And I love like certain pubs they try to make rooms out of, so they might have a big room, so they just put curtains up. So you can hear another fucking show, a play going on. You can hear Hamlet in the next curtain, and then you're trying to do comedy. So how about that airport food? Am I right?
Yeah, weirdest gig I ever did was the rooms being divided into exactly like that, curtain down the middle. We're doing comedy in one room, and in the other room is a Conservative Party rally. It was the weirdest thing because we're coming in at the tail end of their thing, doing jokes about politics, and the Scottish Tory party's literally in the other side of a curtain. Like the audience genuinely thought that was part of the show. That we had another comic behind the curtain giving a fake speech.
I bet they were like, that was, really well good. I loved the character of the Tories. I thought they were great. And you're like, they were the real thing.
Exactly. Like one of the guys after the show was like, man, that was great. That was such an inspired idea to have somebody on the other side of the curtain doing the speeches. It was a bit weird though that they cut out halfway through the show, but that's all right because the material changed up after they moved away from politics. The thing was, none of us had political material. It's just we could hear them and we just could not take the piss.
Yeah.
So we basically had 5 comics taking turns to do live commentary on a Tory party meeting, knowing that they could hear us. While they tried to talk about how Brexit was going to be great for Scotland and stuff.
So funny.
To an audience of Germans who were just like, yes, this was a terrible idea.
What is all this politics you speak of? Alex J. Byrne, as you said, Frase Italia. I saw a video on Instagram and he was running around and screaming, oh, we won. He's not even Italian. Did I go to the video? I was there. No. I went to watch some soccer with, I'm not supposed to say that, football with Alex because I'm not really into it. And I saw, with the men, saw how the men socialize. Are you guys into football?
No. When the football was on, I was pretending to be a pirate.
Yeah,
on your owner.
No, I have some online friends, and they said they'd be my online friends during the football because nobody likes football.
And what were you like watching the matches? The pirate, like, aye, look at the wee.
No, I wish I thought of it like just like a commentary in pirate talk of play-by-play. Yeah,
that would actually be good. I would go back to watching. I haven't watched football since Henrik Larsson left Celtic. Henrik Larsson left Celtic. Celtic started doing shit, and everybody else in football decided to be the professional diving team. So I just have not cared in about 20 years. But no, if they had pirate commentators, I would watch the shit out of that. That'd be
I'd
great.
be into that. I'd like to see that they're going, aye, see the terrible display of spacing. Aye.
Actually, that's a good question.
Aren't we?
Yeah, they're
What?
lions.
Yeah. A red
What's-
card from the referee.
Aye. That's
Which sport do you think?
Locker.
They looted the ball.
Which sport do you think would be the best with a pirate commentator? Which sport fits that best?
Oh, it's good.
Maybe fishing or
How
sailing.
the fuck is fishing a sport?
I
Water
don't
looks really pretty
sailing.
good.
Sailing. Aye.
Aye, because at least the sailing terms sound piratey. When
I
they're
think
doing
it would.
a nice roll along the lawn.
I think it would be the what's the one? It's not lacrosse. It's similar to lacrosse, but they actually ride the horses.
Polo.
Horse
Horse polo, not water polo. Horse polo. A pirate commentator with that, when you're just watching all the rich toffs in the background, those ones that are normally somebody with their nose artificially elevated 15,000 feet in the air. Yes, and Carruthers has the ball. Imagine that with a pirate accent.
I know.
Carruthers be having the ball now.
Have one posh commentator, have one pirate. Yes, back to you, Davy Jones. I agree with you.
I just want to picture a pirate coming in who misunderstood the accent. It's like, oh, horses! I thought you said.
I
thought it was horse polo. I thought I picked up a new one.
Horse polo. Aye.
Oh man, that would be so much better.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Right. While we're shooting the breeze. Tony, do you want to hit the stage?
Sure, if we want to start doing the improv.
And doing some improv. Oh, hang on. Oh, Connor, you just wrote whores in the private chat.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, what's this? Because it was. This
I just wanted to misspell whores.
I was like, okay, right. Tony, are you ready?
Sure.
All right. All the way not from Scotland. It is Tony Hepburn, everyone. Woo!
All the way not from Scotland, he says. Just because I'm not transmitting from there. So I think the plan was that we were going to play some improv games today. So will we do the bad movie game?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so why don't will I make a title and then you guys have to spitball the film, or will we do it the other way around?
Let's do it the other way around, see what you can do.
Yeah.
Perfect. Give me a title.
Wine bottle.
Wine bottle.
Yeah.
Jack clearly just looking at the first thing he saw.
Yeah.
Right. Wine bottle the movie. Okay, so this is going to be a terrible trash B movie, right? So the first thing we need to do is make sure that no wine bottles appear in the entire film. Right? No wine bottles whatsoever. It's going to be a dystopian post-apocalyptic thing. We're going to have Call Me Chris's character, Chris herself, going through an apocalyptic wasteland looking for more wine, dragging the rest of that crowd around. We're going to have her fighting zombies. We're going to have her fighting the Anger Sand from the Anger Sand cinematic universe. Oh, crap. No, it wasn't you guys. Okay, that's from another bad movie game. Forgot I hadn't played that with. That it wasn't Connor I'd played that with. Right, yeah. So it's Call Me Chris avoiding the Anger Sand, which turns everybody incredibly angry all the time, and the only way to escape it is with Zeppelins. So we get Call Me Chris on a Zeppelin, chasing the last wine bottle on the planet. It's going to be like the Nicolas Cage, the National Treasure, where it's just the whole movie is them chasing drowned treasure maps leading to the last wine storage on the planet. And who else are we going to cast in this? We need an actual actor to bring in the mob. So who do we think fits as the bad guy?
Cillian Murphy.
Oh,
Cillian Murphy. Yes, that would work. So Cillian Murphy is going to be a wine connoisseur. He's going to be French for no apparent reason, but he's not going to change his accent. We're just going to repeatedly tell everyone that he's French. No accent changing allowed whatsoever. And he wants to stockpile it. That's where all the wine's going. That's where it's gone. Post-apocalyptic future, Cillian Murphy, French wine connoisseur, trying to gather all those, but all the wine that's left, just so he can collect it. And it's going to be Call Me Chris with who's another good TikTok star? We'll get that the foot doctor lady. We'll get Legal. And somebody who might actually be able to handle themselves in a fight. Who's a TikToker who can handle themselves in a fight? I'm thinking Salt Bae.
A TikToker?
a TikToker?
Yeah, it's got to be TikTokers.
Why, are they the future of Hollywood?
Because a B movie, you can only hire one actual actor. You've only got the budget for one actor. So we got Cillian Murphy, and then we're going to create TikTokers.
For a second there, Tony. Why are you getting TikToks?
No, because it's a terrible movie. It's a terrible movie. You can't have a budget with a terrible movie. so you got one actor, and that's where the entire budget's gone. You have no money for the props departments, whatever's lying around. The Zeppelin is made out of paper mache, and all they've done is just paper mache over the walls of a house, right? And it's all painted green, and very obviously painted green. So that's where all the special effects are going to come from later. The whole thing's filmed in one room. The audio quality is terrible. We get Call Me Chris, Legal, the Food Doctor Lady, and Salt Bae on a Zeppelin, avoiding the anger sands, trying to find Cillian Murphy, the French wine connoisseur, in a post-apocalyptic future.
Who's this Foot Doctor Lady?
Oh, she's blown up lately, apparently. My sister keeps sending me TikToks of her. It's just she's a pretty blonde doctor who does doctor memes on TikTok.
Oh, right.
Why my sister sending me this, I don't know. Neither of us are doctors.
in this post-apocalyptic world. It's like, oh, I've got a problem with my foot. It's a bit sore. Oh, I'll have a look at it. Yeah, grand.
Well, you got to have a medic in a post-apocalyptic future, but you're not allowed to cheat and actually have a proper doctor. So it's usually like a vet or something. So we're going to go with foot doctor for this one.
Nice. So it's like, my elbow's a bit sore. Well, that's kind of like a knee. So yeah.
But no, she doesn't know anything about knees. She's a podiatrist, only knows the feet.
Oh.
Anything north of the ankle is foreign territory to her.
Is Tarantino directing this?
No, because there's no budget. We're directing this.
Fuck.
We're directing this.
Maybe it's I don't know. The whole feet thing can be like an homage to Tarantino. You know.
That'll be our excuse. That'll be our excuse. We could just in all the interviews after the film comes out. Well, yeah, we were hoping by including a foot doctor, we might attract Quentin Tarantino, might get a little bit of an angel investment for him, but we didn't do it. So we filmed the whole thing in Jack's bedroom with some paper mache painted green. Thanks to Conor for happening to have green paint.
I just like the idea of Tarantino reviewing the film and going, I like that. Okay, I like the foot doctor.
Yeah, the only injuries incurred in the entire film are all to the foot because that's the only thing the foot doctor knows how to fix.
Yeah, he goes, I thought it was pretty genius.
I'm Quentin Tarantino and I have a foot fetish. Here's $1 million.
I want to make this film. I want to make a sequel.
Do you know what the worst part is? I'm thinking about this now, and I'm thinking, do you know what? If we just include like one Marvel character, that could genuinely be in the next stage of Avengers
actor?
Phase 3. No, just one Marvel character. Some Z-list Marvel character who was in like 3 comics in the 70s. Just some minor one that's going to come out of nowhere and blow everyone away.
Could Deadpool make a cameo? Oh, sorry, guys. Sorry.
Deadpool, yeah. Do you know that would actually make a good Deadpool film? Imagine Deadpool on a Zeppelin.
He could be there trying to convince Cillian Murphy. You know, I think it's a great idea.
The thing that I'm looking forward to most in this, hypothetical film that will never be made is just repeatedly referring to someone with a broad Irish accent as French and just never explain.
Kind of like Les Mis, how they're in France and they're fighting in the French Revolution, but they all have Cockney accents.
Yeah. The animated Robin Hood movie where they're foxes and half of the cast have American accents.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's like my favorite one of those recently is Outlaw King, because to be fair to Chris Pine, he has that was a decent attempt at a Scottish accent. But then they put every other actor in the film as an actual Scottish person.
Yeah.
Do you know? Here's how we make sure everybody knows he's faking it, no matter how much effort we put in. Just everybody else is actually from the Highlands. We'll have a man with a voice so deep he genuinely sounds like a cow, and then we'll have Chris Pine.
American, Hollywood, Chris Pine. Yeah.
Exactly.
Would Cillian Murphy, would he keep his gravelly Peaky Blinders voice? So when he saw him out the wine, would he be like?
No, just his normal Irish accent.
I would like it a little bit thicker. I'd like if he had the Irish accent a bit more.
You wouldn't
know. To be fair, I think that could be good. And the last wine bottle on earth is going to be some cheap piece of shit from Lidl. Everything else, and when you get to his famous wine cellar, and he's like, here, lads, you found my wine cellar. It's just going to be wine. It's going to be bag in a box wine for
what if it wasn't wine?
Just for miles.
What if it wasn't wine? It was like Tesco vodka, but with cranberry juice in it.
But yeah, it's going to be like when you were a teenager and you were nicking your parents' booze, the last wine bottle on earth. It's actually just a green wine bottle that some kids filled up with tea so it was the right color.
Here's the Tesco vodka. Now he needs the fucking Brita filter because the trick is you pour the shit vodka through a Brita filter and it helps purify it a little bit more. So now he has to find the best Brita filter in France for his Tesco brand vodka.
No, better, because these days you can never do a standalone film. Everything needs to have a sequel hook. So right as they get to the end, Chris takes a swig and goes, "Oh my God, this isn't wine." Cillian Murphy laughs, coughing up blood. We thought he was dead. We shot him 15 minutes ago in the script, but he's still somehow alive. He just goes, "Ha ha! You thought I had it. It was actually the stevedore." And then it just cuts, end, straight to credits. And then we put in a fake trailer at the end that we had no money for either.
Nice.
We didn't even have the animating budget. We couldn't even afford to pay the actors another day. And it's just Jack in front of the painted paper mache screen going, "Ha ha 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 ha."
Yeah.
And there it is.
I like it, man. You should make it. You should get writing that film.
I think there's room up for it. I think there's room mainly because Zeppelins. People will watch anything with a Zeppelin.
You think so?
I think so. Let's be honest. We're still talking about the Hindenburg.
Yeah. Who doesn't love watching that footage over and over again?
Yeah, whatever that was.
Yeah, the Hindenburg disaster.
Heisenberg?
Please tell me you're fucking with me. Please tell me I don't need to go to a history lesson here.
We'll move on to what's her name, sir? Conor Doyle Feck.
Conor Doyle, and I don't do history jokes like Tony does, so you don't have to worry.
That's why I'm done.
Strictly 20th century.
You know, if you're going to threaten a man with a history lesson, Tony, don't do it on his show.
Sorry, very bad.
I'll educate you if you're not careful.
Hey, if I ever get around to start my own, feel free to do it to me.
Yeah. I'll educate you on. I don't want to educate you on.
What's your hobby? What's your special interest? Something that you love, but no one else seems to give a shit about.
Stand up.
Good job, you're not doing any right now.
People think I'm a madman. You know, did you ever tell someone you do comedy? They're like, "What? You think you're funny?" And you're like, "Yeah." My father was telling my neighbor, he has a new neighbor, and he was like, "Oh, my son does comedy." I'm like, "You know what that man hears, Dad? Oh, my son thinks he's funny."
Yeah.
That's what that man hears in his ear.
With my aunts and uncles, it's "Oh, you do comedy? Here, look at this," and then it's like a chain letter joke that's incredibly racist.
And you're like,
I can't talk about this right now. It's like, thank you for caring.
Are they like, "Oh, you remember that time Granddad lost his hat?" No, that's a joke for you.
Yeah. No, I got caught out with one recently. I was said to a friend of mine, I was like, "Look, you gotta, if you want me on dating apps and things, you set up my Tinder." So she has a look at my Tinder, and then first thing she said was, "All right, you got to get rid of comedian." I said, "Why do I have to get rid of comedian?" She went, "All that says to women is that you're unemployed and you make racist jokes that are going to make her uncomfortable." I just kind of got like, okay, the opposite message of what I wanted to send.
Comedians are attractive on stage.
Cupid.
Sorry, we both talked about it. You go on. What did you say?
Oh, I said Tony should just go to OKKK Cupid.
Yeah, they'd love you. So
I don't want to date Americans. If I'm going to be racist,
about the racism. That's what we're here for. No, I said I think comedians are attractive on stage, but yeah, dating apps.
Oh yeah,
they're a comedian. What would be the most attractive job?
Attractive job?
Yeah,
firefighter.
Like, you're attractive, you should have this job, or attractive as in like, hey,
I have a job and it's sexy. What's a sexy job?
A sex
firefighter.
Sexy.
You're gonna be fit. Job. They know you're courageous. They know you're brave, and that you're good with a pole. There you go.
It's not just.
What's a way to subtly put in that you do pole dancing in your free time? Firefighter.
Yeah.
So are you suggesting all the firemen when they're waiting for fires are like, "Here, lads."
I fucking guarantee you that is exactly what happens with exactly that level of professionalism and skill.
Fair.
Assuming, of course, they still use the pole. They probably don't.
Brave firefighter comes out of a burning building and plays with his cat he just rescued like it's a feather boa behind his neck.
just a pair of sequins in the front of his high-vis jacket.
Yeah.
Ready to get wet. And then the hose to all the ladies.
Too busy spraying each other to get around to the building.
Suddenly, white t-shirts and white underwear.
And there's a burning building in the background.
See, that is exactly why they have to wear the green high-vis. They don't wear white high-vis. White's the most reflective color. None of them wear it because they'd all be too busy having wet t-shirt contests, showing off for the audience.
Well, do they not wear yellow?
Missing out on a charity venue right there if they don't do a wet t-shirt.
Yellow and red, I thought they wore.
I thought it was yellow and white bands, to be fair. But most high-vis jackets are green now. I misspoke. Way to call me out, Jack!
Sorry, I was just...
You know so much about firefighters and their uniforms.
Yeah, because I was an 8-year-old boy once, and I wanted to be a firefighter.
Fair. Fireman Sam, he was very popular.
Yeah. Fireman Sam and Postman Pat took me far too long to realize those were actually different shows. I thought it was the same bloke doing two jobs.
He's delivering post to a house and it's on fire and he's like, I'll have my revenge.
I just figured like he was a postman in the morning and then he was a fireman in the evenings. I thought that's how jobs work.
He was sending out little post bombs that would go off for his night shift.
Yeah. How do you think Fireman Sam always had so many fires to put out? Him and Pat were in it together. It was an insurance scam.
I believe it.
Yeah.
To be fair, if it was made in this day and age, it probably would be. That would be the B plot in the background.
Really? You think that would...
Everything's dark and edgy now. Like, come on.
If it was remade for adults.
Yeah. Oh, God. Can you... There's another terrible movie. The adult film Fireman Sam, Postman Pat crossover film.
And I think, like, Pat...
Live action. Unnecessarily live action.
And I think Pat's divorced.
Yeah.
And he has an alcohol problem. And his cat is just nasty. It's very moody.
No, the cat is just conspicuously missing because the cat would not survive this long.
No, I think he still has the cat.
No, I think he's got a new cat. I think he's got a new cat, suspiciously young, and just every so often in the background, you just see an urn on his mantelpiece.
And like, he's in the pub, and they're like, Pat, what did you do? I used to deliver the post until that awful day. I'm like, yeah, it was a terrible day that happened.
I know, obviously, Noddy has to be the bad guy.
Noddy, yeah.
Same car, same get up, obviously a junkie.
Do you know that scene in the Aqua movie where the bikers go up to him and go, "Are you that water boy?" And he goes, "Water man." And then it should be, "Are you that mail boy?" He's like, "Mail man."
Oh, you that
boy. But first he pauses, takes a drag on his vape, crushes it beneath his heel, and then goes, "Mailman."
Postman Pat's my name.
I haven't heard that name in years.
I haven't heard that name in a long time.
He could do the best quips. Like, he has one guy on the ground and he goes, "Looks like your package is being delivered."
Is it bad? I would actually watch this film. Fast and the Furious 26, Postman Pat and Fireman Sam team up.
By Amazon.
An 80s kids stop motion movie. Fireman Sam, Postman Pat, Thomas the Tank Engine, Charlie Chalk, Bertha, and a few others that I can't think
Bill
of.
and Ben the Flower Pot Man.
Bully.
Yeah, you gotta have Bill and Ben the Flower Pot Man. They'll be like the random confidential informant, like the friend who always knows everything.
Or
Can we throw in Sooty and Sweep?
Of course we can throw in Sooty and Sweep.
Get Brum in.
I don't remember Brum.
Remember Brum? No? Okay. What Barney could be the evil villain.
Oh yeah.
Barney's obviously the evil villain.
It could be Amazon, and Barney could be the CEO, and he's like, "Well, I think everything's going according to plan."
And they get all their missions from Dustin the Turkey in the RTE den.
Nice.
Yeah. Man, this is a great film of
He gets it
nostalgia.
actually, and then like they complete the mission, and then all they hear is "Go on, you good thing."
I've got the image of just Fireman Sam sitting there with a double barrel going, "There's a reason they call me Fireman Sam."
Trying to think of some. Yeah, he'd come out with some good quips.
Yeah. The question is though, how are we going to get the budget to turn Thomas the Tank Engine into a transformer?
Ooh, good question.
Because we can't have the whole film be on the railway. So eventually it's going to be like just Thomas drags them there, and then him, Annie, and Clarabelle just combine into Voltron and storm after them.
What if Thomas has an upgrade and he's a car? And is this just his head? Like,
so it's Thomas, the formerly known as the Tank Engine, the car,
or
the Ford Fiat.
Thomas the Tank Engine, but he's ripped. He's a tank.
Thomas the quite literal Tank Engine.
Thomas's head.
Yeah.
No, he's literally a tank engine. Every time they call him, you see his face, and then eventually at the end of the film, they're like, "Thomas, we need you." It pulls back, and you realize he's the engine block in a Challenger 2, and just starts driving after them.
Yeah, his face is actually the cannon.
This big smile with cold dead approaches the impending doom.
Diesel this, bitch!
Yeah.
Okay, so the bad guy has to be an enemy of the mail service, enemy of firefighters, has to have something to do with diesel engines, because Thomas the Tank Engine's involved. But all the bad guys in that wanted to replace the steam engines with diesel.
Amazon.
Who else did we have?
It's genius.
Yeah, it's just we just make Amazon the bad guy and then pitch it to Virgin for when they inevitably launch their streaming service.
Exactly, and like make Barney the villain. I can see Barney for some reason wearing trousers and like braces, and he's like, "All is going well," and he'd sing a song about it. Then he'd be like, "It's not easy being evil these days." Everybody, all the kids be clapping.
No. See, I think you put Barney in like a tuxedo top and a top hat with a monocle, and you just make him an oil tycoon.
Actually, he used to wear a top hat.
Oh yeah, he did. See, you have Barney. You have Barney as the bad guy because he's turning his former friends into oil. And then as his second in command, he's got Bear from Bear in the Big Blue House.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, my God. And then,
So the final battle is like a postman, fireman, Thomas the Tank Engine and everything against a dinosaur and a bear.
And Bear.
Well, they can be the bumbling goons who keep getting caught out by the wily good guys.
And Postman Pat could be like, I know, like, I never liked bears. All right. He'd be like Logan, you know, like Wolverine.
Oh, yeah. I can see that.
All right.
Good night, Moon.
Let me put a stamp on you.
Oh, God.
Oh, man. I'm not gonna lie. I would love like just children's TV shows of the '90s as a unnecessary stop motion / live action, just all of them as they were, action film, totally over the top.
Absolutely, Avengers Endgame style. Have them.
Imagine that level of budget.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Right, Connor, are you ready to hit the stage? Enough about Bear and Barney and Postman Pat movie. Are you ready to?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Okay, all the way, not from Scotland.
Correct.
Conor Doyle, everyone.
Yay! Anyway, from Lisa. Am I going to go with another movie, or how about we do an improv game on the style of Feck It, the show that I was running before COVID, where y'all would give me a suggestion, and we'll see what jokes we can make from that.
Absolutely, sounds great.
Okay, well then if you want, you can fire it off, and then anybody who's watching can just throw a message in and read it out to me. We'll see how far I can go. I'm incredibly rusty because I haven't done an improv with myself in a long time.
Leo Varadkar's used car emporium.
Okay, I'm going. I need help. Feel free to chime in when I inevitably die in my hole.
Ready?
Yeah.
Leo Varadkar's used car emporium.
Leo Varadkar's used car emporium. That's fantastic. It'll be just outside of Dublin City because even he will agree that rent is too high to run a business in Dublin City. It will have every car from 1998 to 2010. There's going to be an allotment just set aside where you can pay extra to buy a car that he once previously owned. He'll also have a selection of camper vans because we all know that that's the next best thing to living inside of Dublin is just living in a van by the canal and the Gardaí won't ask us to move on. He's going to go into competition though because Sinn Féin are going to open up their own cheaper used car emporium and it's going to be really fancy. Unlike Leo's, which was be very bare bones, he likes to keep it simple. Sinn Féin are going to go a little bit extra. There's going to be a boardroom where you can negotiate the prices of your car. There's going to be free coffee. I don't see any other political party offering free coffee if you buy a used car from them. We'll give you unleaded and diesel for a fair price and all 6 counties coming this year. Insurance though is going to be up to the roof because there's one thing that's known as all political used cars have been ridden the fuck out. Suspension is gone, brake pads non-existent because nobody knows this. But Leo Varadkar, the big movie buff that he is, was really into the Fast and the Furious franchise. So he was out doing donuts and spin outs and a car goes on its 2 wheels. He's actually surprisingly good.
What's his tagline?
What's the tagline? Oh my god! I wish I knew enough about Leo.
It's 30-second, it's 30-second TV ad. What's the tagline?
Leo Varadkar used cars, where the only thing that's used is your patience. That's all I got.
That was good.
Any other suggestions?
I've got the Llama All Ireland.
Say that again.
The Llama All Ireland.
Llama All Ireland, the Llama Llama Ding Dong would be the song that everybody says, forget ole ole ole, it's going to be Llama Llama Ding Dong. Every county will have its own beautiful llama. Kerry have that weird King of Goats thing. Nobody cares anymore. It's all about the llamas. How soft, how long and elegant their necks are. How many cashmere sweaters can one llama make? Everybody will be like, my llama plays for county. And girls will swoon. Each county will also try to have maybe sheared a symbol of their county into it or try to keep as close to the county colours for their llama. So obviously Kildare would have the easiest llama to colour. They just need plain. However, word gets out very quickly about the mistreatment of the llamas. Alpacas want equal treatment. And soon there's the all-llama, all-alpaca county finals where all the llama owners and all the alpaca people have a face-off where only the strongest quadruped can survive. But the shows come, all the dairy farmers of Ireland, showing that their cows can be just as soft and cuddly as your long-necked Peruvian freaks. Charging into the horde, mooing in disarray and chaos, and squirting their udders into the eyes of every llama from here to kingdom come. That's it.
That was good.
That was very good.
My imagination's my only friend. Any more suggestions?
One more.
Say again?
Can we do one more?
One more. I'd love one more.
Right, Tony, do you have any ideas?
All my ideas right now are just about more 90s children's cartoons. I I know. Why don't we do the all Kerry actor sci-fi film?
Oh,
I
okay.
like it.
Will Carey sci-fi film with the Michael Healy ray gun.
Exactly.
We changed the names of the Rings of Saturn to the Rings of Dingle. Good name though for a Kerry-based sci-fi. Because my Kerry knowledge is very limited, I would just go with anything that rhymes with Kerry. So, Scary Kerry Aliens, the movie, part 2. Part 1 was just a YouTube short, but money came in from advertising, and now they had a budget of €100, and they can actually afford an alien for this quick little Kerry sci-fi, starring everyone's favorite Irishman / Frenchman, Cillian Murphy.
He comes back.
He's come back for more, Cillian Murphy.
And now he's on the Kerry ferry to Derry.
Perfect, absolutely perfect. Every time he goes into a pub, he always has to. The creator is this is a swarm of evil and villainy, and you have to have like an Irish Jedi hanging out in the background. That Star Wars band that everybody knows from A New Hope are just like a trad band, but with additional instruments line up. You know, the violin is like a lightsaber.
I like it.
But the main villain, we have to figure out who is the villain of this Kerry sci-fi.
Someone from Dublin.
Someone from Dublin. Okay. He has a spaceship though, and it's called the Big Smoke. So it will be a cybernetically enhanced. Who's a famous Dubliner we could use?
Bono.
Dublin?
Bono. And he has to keep his glasses down like Cyclops from the X-Men because he can't control his laser beam eyes.
Oh, hang on. We're getting a comment. Fungi
from Oil of Bolton. Fungi the doll off. We need Fungi. Is it like a robot suit, you know? So he's like in a tiny aquarium, but it has like robot arms and legs, and he acts like the Chewbacca for killing.
Yeah, Fungi left Earth in Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, and now he's back to help us.
Yeah.
And for some reason, everybody can understand the noises that Fungi makes.
Yeah. Like, hey! No,
there will be no subtitles for the audience.
Absolutely. Oh my god! But kids will love the toy.
Yeah.
I'm not going to lie. Dolphin in a mech suit would have been an amazing toy.
That could be the next. If we had a time machine, we could go back and turn that into a '90s cartoon. Dolphin in a mech suit. Captain Planet. Here comes Dolphin in a mech suit, and he just goes around trashing oil rigs. Again, completely. He's supposed to be doing a Kerry sci-fi, but a '90s Dolphin in a mech suit sounds so much better than a Kerry sci-fi. Sorry, Kerry, you're not so cool now.
To be fair, there's not a lot that's still cool after you had the alternative of a dolphin in a mech suit.
I like it. I think it will work.
Oh my god. What would be, if it's a sci-fi though, it needs a memorable theme song. All the good sci-fis have a really good theme.
An Irish-inspired, like trad band, as you were saying, like banjo and violin and accordion.
Yeah. But it has to be played on the pheromone thing, the theremin.
Yeah, so it's like woo!
Exactly. It's just Rocky Road to Dublin played on the theremin.
There has to be a version, or there needs to be the Rocky Road to Dublin on a theremin. Would be amazing.
Or Rattlebog.
That would be great.
Why? Do you know Rattlebog?
Rattlebog, let the
Yeah, that and the theremin would be fantastic as well.
That was good. That was some good improv. And that is your night that you ran before COVID all kicked off.
COVID happened, yeah. So it was all organizational stand-up. Hopefully we'll be coming back soon enough once, we're allowed indoors again.
I always saw Feck like a gym as a comedian because you don't prepare anything. So you get up. And I remember the first time I did it, you were like, Shakespeare in Ballymun. And I just had to like take that and what's up? What lights on the window breaks?
I like the whole reason I did Feck it was I was too lazy to write my own material. Or to call other venues to ask if I could have a slot. So I just said, nah, fuck it. I'm just going to make my own room and I don't have to work hard. And it's good crowd work. Even if the improv isn't your skill, it's a great chance to just have some bands with the audience. Like crowd work is such an important part of doing good stand-up.
Yeah, I mean, improv's great for like learning how to deal with hecklers and stuff because you just got to be able to riff off whatever comes at you. I mean, I think the first Feck it that I did, maybe it was the second, I got Alan Soulscar Gunnarsson. I had no idea who the fuck that was. Yeah. And I just had to make up a person with that name.
Yeah. It's quite Feck it's very playful because you are... You, usually when you do stand-up, you're at home, you write stuff down, you go and you try it out. The real Jack or the real Tony is in that moment.
Yeah.
The real person. How playful they are.
Like case scenario, you came up with something so unique that you can now add it to your own material in the future or whatever.
Or you listen to somebody else do their bit and you go, I could have riffed on that better, and you end up writing a set about whatever the prompt was.
Oh God, yeah,
because you didn't get to do the jokes that occurred to you because it was someone else's turn.
Yeah, it's like so many times where I've been at the side, and I know I'm guilty of chiming in now and then, or all the time. But sometimes there's like, no, shut up, I'm going to do it. I'm doing it.
Exactly.
I like that though. I like when you come on stage and go, "Oh, we had Donegal Snatch." Funny thing about it. And then you and you go off and you show your interpretation of that. I think it's genius. I think the best one we ever had was Tarek, the lovely comedian from Australia. And you'd get us all up and you'd read out the last suggestion and we'd all have to chime in. And you went, spermicide. Tarek just went, spermicide? That's a lovely dress.
I remember that was such great.
That was so good. Yeah.
Gary Lynch was like, moment, and he just erupted in laughter. Never heard him laugh so hard.
You've won. You won Feck.
Yeah.
If there was a second award, he'd get the next 20 just from that.
But I realized as well, wordplay. My brain doesn't work like that, but it just showed Tarek's comedy gears was brilliant.
Yeah, I always find like wordplay jokes are the ones that make me laugh the hardest. They're objectively, they're never this, the one that makes you think afterwards or something. But they always catch me off guard because I never see them coming. Because I'm like you, my brain just doesn't do that. Yeah. So it like my brain will be going, oh, spermicide, what would it? And then it goes, spermicide is a lovely drink. You're like, fuck, that's brilliant.
And you're like, how?
And I would never
aside.
Yeah, you could have given me a full year to work on nothing but that prompt. I'd never have come up with that joke. It
was like the best joke of the night, and it only took him 3 seconds to say.
Yeah.
I'll send him this clip. Like, we were licking your arse on live on there.
Yes.
But that's the main bit I miss from Feck. It just like the lightning round at the end, where it's just all the extra suggestions, and it's just everybody have a go. Because you'll get one person makes a joke, and that gives somebody else an idea, so they can actually now chime in and take the piss out of what you just said. And look, one of the nights, I think Conor wasn't there that day. I think it was one of the days when you were away, and Gary was running it. But there was a good 2 or 3 minutes. We had one person in the audience, if that, and so every comic was on stage, so none of us really gave a shit. We were all just for a good 3 or 4 minutes. Just ripping the piss of whatever the person in front of us just said. So by the end of about 30 seconds, whatever the original prompt was, it was gone now. And we were all we basically did 3-word story, but, 1 sentence joke following on from what the person in front said. It was just great.
Oh, that's gas.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
That's so funny. Yeah, I think another thing as well with the improv, you don't need to be as witty to get the laughs because it's on the spot. People know, like,
Yeah, it's more forgiving. And then if you're a likable person on stage, you can get away with murder, really.
Yeah. You don't need to be as tight. You don't feel like you've just bombed the entire gig if you stutter or something.
Yeah.
Because I remember the lightning round being so nervous and saying things and then going, "Oh, they're gonna laugh. That wasn't really that funny." Oh well,
Yeah. The crazy thing is, I get more improvisers who would want to do it, but it was all stand-ups who wanted to make a risk, and then try getting improvisers. But I think I'd have like Gary, Kieran, Mark as my regulars as improvisers, but anybody outside of that crew was just really like, nah, that doesn't sound like my cup of tea. I was like, all right, fuck you. Stand-ups for life.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I do like about the stand-up crowd. It doesn't matter what's going on; everyone will give it a shot once, right? Like, I mean, look at all the shows that popped up near the start of lockdown, and we all just kind of went, "Yeah, I'll give it a go, and if it's not for me, I won't do it twice." But everybody will try it, and it's that don't look before I leap. What the fuck are you talking about? I'm just going to go and do it. Attitude from an entire community of people.
Yeah, people have tried this show and gone, "Do you know what? Nah, I didn't like the whole talky bit at the beginning."
Yes, but those people are strange.
And then some people are like, "I love it."
Attention on an internet scale, I'll take it.
Yeah.
I've only had myself to talk to for weeks.
This is brilliant. Well, actually, speaking of the old internet scale, we're nearly at the time of the show. Towards the end. I'm just going to steal the audience for 2 seconds. I'm just going to say thank you so much for watching, guys. If you enjoyed the show and you want to support the show, we've got a donation link. It's also it should be, I think. It's in the bio of the show. This show isn't free for me to run. This actually comes out of my own pocket because I've got to pay for this. So, yeah, if you want to just throw me a few squid, that I would really appreciate it. But, of course, there would be no show without the other performers. Tony, Connor, it's been an honor to have you on the show. And
Thanks for having me
back.
We really it was an improv show. We just took it. Yeah. We went off on a crazy, funky mechanic adventure. Hoaxman Pat meets Noir. The Punisher.
Oh God, that would be such a stupid film. I'd watch the shit out of that.
Yeah, and then we're getting one. It's been a blast. Oh, that's good. At least someone. So, guys, I'll say goodbye. Thanks for coming on so much.
Thank you.
Yes, thanks very much.
Until next time.